Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill 2022 match card and predictions for you now here on SCW. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave in the comments in the comment section. Please like and share the video as well. Now, going through this match card, it looks absolutely stacked from top to bottom. Some great gimmick matches added to this card as well. I'm really looking forward to discussing here on SCW. But just before we get into it, I'm going to give you the match card that you can see for yourselves, and then let's discuss and predict it together. I wasn't lying, was I? It looks absolutely stacked from top to bottom. Let's go straight in the deep end, shall we? The first match to discuss. I'm going with what they're calling is the main event, the Impact World Championship, the triple threat match. We've got Moose, the champion, going against Morrisey, and as well as that, Mid Cardona or Mack Cardona. You can say it for yourselves. Mack Cardona will be 1 full year in Impact Wrestling. Will he live the dream? Will he fulfill what he's always wanted to become, a top guy, a main event guy? For me, I think Mack Cardona could be a main event guy in Impact Wrestling, but my main gripe with it is actually the babyface role that we currently see. I saw Mack Cardona, the king of the death match in GCW, covered in blood, flipping off the crowds, and I just thought I saw money when I saw this character, a variation of Mack Cardona. For me personally as well, one nice little touch here that I thought was really good into this storyline as well, we've seen currently with Impact, we've seen him bleed on the road to this where he's getting the beat down from Morrisey. We see as well with the contract signing, the desperation where Chelsea Green was brought involved in this, and Mack Cardona swinging the chair at Moose, missing and hitting his what was then fiance and now wife in Chelsea Green. What is this going to lead to? Is Chelsea going to easily forgive him? Would she cost him the opportunity? Could that would be an interesting storyline that could play out? There's so many different dimensions that can go with this, and I do think it's going to make a very compelling storyline when we go into it. Perhaps maybe I could be wrong by the babyface thing. Maybe it would be a dream come true, something that we would all feel if it was to become a reality. The question is though, will it become a reality? And here's going to be my answer. No, and if it's going to be, it's not going to be yet. Hard to Kill does feel like an appropriate pay-per-view name for this rivalry, but I've got a funny feeling that Moose is going to retain that championship. I see Morrisey hanging around in this match, and I think he should be a future world champion, but I just don't think the time is right. Moose, for me, has not long been the world champion in Impact Wrestling. We've waited so long for this moment for Moose, and now I think we should let it run and see where it can go. And I just think that we're just getting to the early stages of what we can see with Moose as a world champion in Impact Wrestling. For that reason, I'm going for Moose to retain here. Would there be a mishap, maybe a mishap from Chelsea Green that could cost Mack Cardona this spot of winning the match, and that could always throw some more question marks rather than actually obviously costing him the match? That would be perhaps more of a fun avenue I'd like to see it go down. So that's what I'm going to predict to happen, and I predict that Moose will retain the championship. More questions than answers. Maybe it could start the path to a heel turn for Mack Cardona after this going into 2022, because that's something I really want to see in Impact Wrestling. Next, let's talk Hardcore War, shall we? We're talking the business relationship of the Good Brothers and Violent by Design, trying to take out the tag teams of Heath and Rhino, as well as Willie, Mack and Swann, and of course coming to their aid, which made this the 10-man tag that it was, 10-man Hardcore War. Eddie Edwards, of course, evening up the babyface side. Now, last year at Hard to Kill, it was proper violent with Eddie Edwards involved. I'm expecting all the same once again here, and to be giving a prediction, I just feel it makes more sense here, even though we've got the business relationship with the Good Brothers and Violent by Design to get a steady start. For me, it makes more sense to get #1 contenders for those tag team championships, and of course, whoever picks up the victory for the babyface team of those two tag teams could put themselves in pole position. For that reason, I'm going for the team of Heath, Rhino, Willie Mack, Swann and Eddie Edwards to pick up the W. Next, let's talk the Ring of Honor World Championship. How cool is this? Jonathan Gresham in-house can be defending the World Championship from Ring of Honor against Impact Wrestling's Chris Sabin. This is going to be a great match between these two. They've wrestled before in Ring of Honor. They've got great chemistry when they have previously also. I can't wait for this match, and for me, just seeing Ring of Honor still carrying on and seeing Gresham in Impact as well, I'm a very happy chap here. I think Gresham is going to pick up the victory, but I think it's going to be a very solid encounter. I'm hoping it's not a one and done. We see more of Gresham in Impact Wrestling for the time being, certainly up until April. There's some great matches I'd love to see him involved with, whether it's against some of the X Division stars like Ace Austin and Chris Bay, or perhaps even other people like Josh Alexander. Would be quite cool to see. Eddie Edwards, some of the sort of household names from Impact as well. But to give a prediction, Jonathan Gresham, of course, is picking up the victory. Next, let's talk about the first time ever Knockouts Ultimate X match. Now, from a stat card from top to bottom, this might just be the match I'm looking forward to the most here. We've got Jordynne Grace, Rosemary, Chelsea Green, who we've already discussed in this video, Rachel Ellering, Lady Frost, and Tasha Steelz. Great different variations of styles in this match as well. High flying aspects that we can see from like Lady Frost. We've got the power game of Rachel Ellering and Jordynne Grace. And we've got the perhaps opportunist of Tasha Steelz in there. And of course, we've got a mainstay that's been in the Knockouts division for many, many years in Rosemary. And of course, Chelsea Green, who's looking to become that #1 contender. Imagine the power couple we could have if Chelsea Green is to pick up the victory here to be #1 contender for the Knockouts Championship. And if Mack Cardona, like I spoke earlier in the video, wants to actually win the World Championship. Now, I predicted he wouldn't, but hey, it's a great story, isn't it, throughout the night? And I will say, I'm not going to muck around too much. I'm going to go into prediction here. I do think Chelsea Green is going to pick up the win, because I think this will be earlier on in the show. I think it'll put a good stead for what could be a question mark for later in the evening. And think about this as well. Chelsea Green, she spoke about this on an interview on Impact not so long ago. The idea of facing Mickie James, the legend, I think is a great match in itself. But think about Chelsea Green versus Deonna Purrazzo. Now, I think that could be a perfect feud going into Rebellion. Two best friends there, one turning on the other. That could certainly be something very exciting to see. But what remains to be seen of a prediction for that match of Mickie James and Deonna Purrazzo later in the night, we'll talk about later in the video. But for me personally, I do think Chelsea Green winning makes a lot of sense. It ticks a lot of boxes, so that's why it will be my prediction. But for me as well, I'd like to see Jordynne Grace win it also, but already being the digital media champion, I don't think she needs to go after another title at this moment. So for that reason, I do stick with Chelsea Green as the prediction. Next, let's talk about the Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. We've got the Inspiration taking on the Influence. Now, I'm really looking forward to this. It should be a fun dynamic with these two teams going head-to-head at Hard to Kill. Now, Caleb may not be pictured in the graphic here, but certainly I'm sure he was one to keep an eye out for outside of the ring. But to say what I want to happen before I predict what will happen, I'd love for Tennille Dashwood to turn on Madison Rayne and to join the Inspiration. You can almost have the Influence and the Inspiration as one. A good old Aussie faction as well. I think it'd be fun to watch in Impact Wrestling. It's something that I predicted before the Inspiration debuted in Impact Wrestling last year. I'd love to see it go down. I'm not sure if it will, but even if I'm not holding out hope, I'm gonna speak about it in this video and say I hope it happens. But to give a prediction, either way, I'm going for the Inspiration to retain those championships. I'm enjoying the work so far in Impact, and I look forward to seeing where it can go further. So for me, they need to keep those belts for now. Following on with the X Division Championship, we got Trey Miguel defending against Steve Maclin. Of course, this was 2/3 of the Bound for Glory match, which crowned Trey Miguel the X Division champion, which was a phenomenal match, by the way. I think these two could knock it out the park once again in ring. I think both are phenomenal talents, and I'm looking forward to watching this one on Hard to Kill. The only minor grievance I've got with this is the kidnapping that was done, it seemed, on Impact not so long ago, where it was almost being tortured backstage, wasn't he, Trey Miguel? I'm not sure I was a fan of that angle personally, but to go into it, I have a feeling that Trey Miguel will retain. My initial feeling when this match was announced was Steve Maclin would actually win the championship because, well, X Division champions don't always keep the belts for the longest reign, but I've just got this funny feeling the way I've seen things play out so far that Trey Miguel, even though he's sort of taking the beating going into this, I think he'll come away the victor. Next will be determining who is the most dominant in Impact Wrestling. Of course, we've got the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, going against top guy Jonah, of course. It's been great to see Jonah in Impact. I've enjoyed his work so far, brutalising Josh Alexander as well on a couple of occasions. I'm really looking forward to this match, but I think the thing that's going to be the big question mark for me to make a prediction on it is Josh Alexander's contract situation. Now, I've not really kept up to date recently if he's re-signed with the company or not, but of course, when he did initially sign with the company, it was a 3-year deal. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it certainly was a year longer than Ethan Page was, and of course, Ethan Page left after Hard to Kill last year. I don't know what's the situation going to be with Josh Alexander this year, and you feel Josh has got a point to prove in storyline terms, because story-wise, Josh Alexander should be going after Moose for that World Championship at some point in the near future to get his revenge and hopefully win the belt back. But I've got a funny feeling, as I don't know the situation, and Jonah's not long into the company, I've got a funny feeling that this could be maybe a first of a couple of matches, or it could be a case of the fact that Jonah wins and defeats Josh Alexander all the way out, putting him more over in the company. So for that reason, I'm going for a victory for Jonah here. And I didn't think I'd say that at the start of this, but for the reasons that I've given, I think that makes the most sense. Last but not least, now it may not be the main event of this show, but certainly it's my main event of this show. I think this should be the match that goes on last. Is of course the Texas Death Match, the Knockouts World Championship. We're talking Mickie James versus Deonna Purrazzo, the most personal, heated rivalry going into this show, in my personal opinion. Of course, it went through Bound for Glory, we've gone through Empower. Of course, the whole build-up between these two ladies, it's gone on now for a good, 5, maybe 6 months. So for me, this is going to be the ending point of these two. A Texas Death Match seems like a very fitting rivalry. It is going to be hardcore country, to say the very, very least. And of course, looking at it, what is going to be the destination after this? Because Deonna Purrazzo, she said already, she went and made the challenge to Roxy at Ring of Honor's final battle, of course. And Deonna said once she won the Knockouts Championship back, she's already the AAA champion as well. That she said winner takes all, that she could win perhaps the Ring of Honor Women's Championship as well. And perhaps Roxy would have the opportunity to hold all 3 championships herself. So that seems like that's been put on the table for a reason. So for that reason, I think this is going to be a great match between these two ladies. And I'm not wasting much of your time here to give a prediction. I do think Deonna Purrazzo wins the strap back. It feels that perhaps she will be the belt collector of 2022. And who knows, maybe this may lead at some point further down the line that she will go and try and challenge for the AEW Women's World Championship, because I know a lot of people want to see Purrazzo against the Dr. Britt Baker. So who knows, that could be a potential thing, I'm not sure. But one thing is for sure, these two ladies have done a phenomenal job. They had a great match at Bound for Glory. I can't wait to see what they're going to do here in this match. It is going to truly be hard to kill. This stipulation suits both ladies down to the ground here. It's going to be personal, it's going to be violent, it's going to be one of probably the early matches of the year. Let's be telling the truth here. And as I say, it's my personal main event, even if it doesn't close the show. In my opinion, it really should. But Deonna Purrazzo is my prediction. I think she will pick up the win and become a 3-time Knockouts champion. So that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What are your predictions for Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill 2022? I look forward to interacting with you in the comments section. Like I said as well, for SCW, please like the video if you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe as well. It really helps with the algorithms, all the boring stuff of YouTube, but it really helps this channel out, and I'm so close to the monetization as well. So watch time is key in 2022. If you can watch an SCW video a day, I really do appreciate it, and I will make an effort to make more Impact Wrestling videos during 2022. But that's all from me anyway. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your match of the night as well will be in the comments below, because I'm intrigued on that aspect as well. Have yourselves a great day. Enjoy Hard to Kill. There are more videos on the channel for you right now. We can go and check out. Click one of these on the side of the screen. Take care. All the best, and I will see you next time.